Hi everyone, and welcome to the final project of this 300 animation scene. This was my favorite project that I've done so far. I enjoyed a lot of things that I did in this project, especially towards the color grading at the end and the noise texture that you can see here. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I did each and every one of those things step by step. It's not exactly a tutorial. I don't think these videos are tutorial. I wouldn't consider them tutorials, sorry. I would consider them as just behind the scenes with commentary. That's how I seem to view them. So without further ado, let's get into it. But this clip is gonna play a little longer, which is cool. So without any further ado, let's get into the project. So the first scene that we created was with King Leonidas. This is the part where he is talking. Now what you guys will, oh wow, look at me talking and I'm wrong. It's actually the Persian guy that's in the first opening scene. Wow, I was so wrong on that. So what you'll notice that the background is a background that I've used before. It's the background I normally use for test rendering my projects. So what I did was I just liked the landscape of it and I decided that I would use it for the final project as it was the closest to what it resembled in the actual footage of the 300 scene that I am referencing for this project. Now I think, as you know, I don't usually show how I do backgrounds because I don't know, I haven't seen any interest in that sort of thing. But if you guys would like me to do one background and just see how I do it, then I'd be more than happy to do it. So if you want me to do that, just leave that in the comments and I'll produce that for you. So again, these are the favorite videos that I like. I really enjoy animating everything together. I do enjoy creating the characters, but just there's something about putting everything together and seeing it come to life. It's almost like cooking. You know, you gather all the ingredients the videos. Wow, you gather all your videos. Wow, I just made the same mistake twice. Look at me. The definition of insanity, right? So it's almost like cooking. You get all the ingredients and then you put it into a pot and watch it cook. So I enjoy that cooking part. So this is the second scene that I created. Now again, with the background, you'll see that it's already animated. I just found a picture of, I think it's a museum, and then it looked like what the setting that they were in. So the character of Queen Gorgo, the queen there, I can't pronounce her name. It's Gorgo or something. I struggle to pronounce her name. So I'd animated that, but unfortunately I lost the footage of me recording that. So here you can see I'm just animating King Leonidas and the queen is in the background. She doesn't have much movement, but she's got her own cycle, so we'll get to her as well. And in terms of the number of cuts that this project has, it's almost doubled the last one that I did. So when I did the Darth Vader video, that one had about 7 cutscenes, but this one had 16 in total, so it's the highest. It had, all in all, the number of frames that this project has is 1,320, I believe. So that is a lot. It's almost a full minute. And yeah, this was tons of fun. It wasn't a difficult project, but yeah. So here we're animating the queen where she just looks a little to the left and then she looks back. And again, most the scenes that I'm referencing here were from the actual movie. So it's not like I was making these things up from my head. I referenced it, and I think, to be honest, I think it'll be the last project where I want to do this. I don't want to be, I know I trace and animate, but I don't want to trace a scene and animate it exactly as it is. It kind of defeats the purpose, because I mean, why not just watch the real thing? I think what I want to do in the future is maybe trace and animate a scene, but change it a little. So I'll give you an example. For this video, what I wanted to do is actually make these guys in cyberpunk. Yes, I wanted to give them like a cyberpunk look. So it would be like a 300 scene, but in cyberpunk. Tell me what you guys think of that, where you can take a scene and just put them in a different time. So we create the same scene, but they're in the future and there's spaceships flying around. I think that would be funny. So let me know in the comments below. And we're now getting to that 5-minute park. 5-minute park. Wow. I think I need to take a break from recording. so much mistakes, and it's just when you get so far, it's so difficult to start from the beginning. But what I was gonna say, we've gotten to the 5-minute mark, and if you guys are enjoying what you are watching, please consider subscribing. And thank you so much for watching. I always appreciate it. I appreciate all the views that I get, and I hope you guys are interested in seeing behind the scenes of animations as much as I am. So let's jump back into the project. So what I was doing here is that so now I'm creating my 4th scene, and you can see. Oh, and sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah. So if you, in case you're wondering, let me explain myself. So if you're wondering why I'm just struggling to catch myself, is that I've recorded 2 other videos back to back. So I feel like I've spoken for too long. And I know I should pace myself, because I think at the end of the day, you want to create the best content that you can. But, you know, if it was too horrible, then trust me, I would have restarted. But I think sometimes I just gotta be genuine and be as real as possible. So this is me being real, mistakes and whatnot. What matters is the video. If you have to watch it in silence, you can do that. You can do that. But if you're interested in listening to the commentary behind making of this, then please continue listening. So now we're just creating the Persian guy. Now this animation only had one scene that was the longest, which we're coming to. This is the longest scene. It was about 16 seconds long. So this takes up almost, I'd say, what is it? Almost a quarter of the whole animation. So this one that we're just gonna create here, it's just of Leonidas, where he gives his dialogue, you know, about you come to my city, you threaten my people with slavery and death. You know, I did rehearse that, because you know when you watch something so much, you just know it off by heart. So here, what I was doing is just playing around with the lip sync, and I think if you're animating, you'll know that lip syncing takes quite a lot of time, especially if you want what the mouth is looking, or the shape of the mouth to match the words that are being said. So that's why I think I always put a lot of emphasis on creating the lip sync. So here I was creating it. It was a very long scene, and just like with the Darth Vader scene, because this project was very long and it was quite a continuous scene, what I did was that I cut the what did I cut? No. I created a Word document so that I could keep track of the frames, of how many frames each scene has. So I think you'll note in this project that I've been going to a Word document like time and time again, and that's just I need to keep track of how many keyframes this scene has, write it down, go to the next one, and continue, so that I've got a continuous workflow of knowing where I need to cut the things. And this helps when you editing the final footage and everything needs to be put in a sequential order without the audio sounding too weird, because that's the other thing you always have to worry about, how the audio sounds. So here now I'm just centering his eyes, and I'm just playing around with the movement. So you can see he's looking up and down, looking left and right. You know, you just want to make it subtle. You don't want to make it too much, otherwise it begins to look unrealistic. And in the previous videos I have failed to do that. I've exaggerated it quite a bit, but I think with this one I just try to be very subtle in the way that I went about doing the project. So here you can see he looks to his queen when he says something like, "You insult my queen," and you can see there. So I also did create a bone structure for King Leonidas, so that we can move his sword, so that it doesn't look like he's just standing straight. You want to make him look like, or you want to give him movements. He needs to look kinetic rather than just still or static. So here, moving the sword and everything, and we're coming to that 10-minute mark. Yay! The number for this one, I'm sure you called it by now, it's 300. If you put 300 in the comments, then I know you've made it this far. So again, to anybody that makes it this far, 10 minutes, thank you so much. And I truly appreciate it. It means a lot. And just being transparent, if you've made it this far, I'm just gonna spill some tea right here, as they call it. So the reason why I think I'm so grateful for anyone that makes it this far is because most of my videos, the average duration of them, like when I look at my analytics, most people watch the videos for like the first minute. So they'll look at the preview video and then they almost click out of the video after that clip is over. And so yeah, so all the videos, like the average watch times have been like 1 minute, like 1 minute, 2. I've never reached 3 minutes. Unless it's like, I think my family and friends, then they watch almost the full thing. But I think outside the family and friends, I struggle to get like that retention where someone watches the video the whole way through. And again, maybe I'm being biased towards myself, but I genuinely think that it's really awesome seeing behind the scenes of anything, especially in the way that it's done, like looking at the steps. And I know the commentary is not always like detailed about what I'm doing, but I think that if it becomes too detailed, then it becomes a tutorial. And this video is about, for an example, this video was about 1 hour and 50 minutes. No, it was 2 hours and 11 minutes. Yes. So this video in total was 2 hours and 11 minutes. So you can imagine that if it was a step-by-step tutorial, then the retention is even worse, because it is quite a lot of work. And yeah, so again, so now you see why I appreciate anyone that makes it this far. It means a lot to me, because I truly enjoy these videos that I create. So thank you for watching this far, and if you're a new person, please consider subscribing. You must enjoy it if you've reached this far, and I truly appreciate it. So please consider subscribing, hitting the like button, leaving a comment, anything, truly. And here, and yeah, if you've got suggestions, I'm welcome to suggestions. I've got ideas that I want to do, but I'm also open to, to building a community where people can suggest the type of videos that they would like to see. So yeah, so now we going back to the animation. You can see, so now it's just creating the part where his sword comes down. You can see he's looking at the sword, it's like, what the hell. And again, these cutscenes were very short. So even though it was a lot of cutscenes, but they were really short, if I'm being honest. So right now I'm already at, I think I should be on the, I can't tell, I think I'm on the 10th scene. So there's about, how many more to go? 9? No, I had 16. So there's 6 more to go. And so it's exciting. So this was the scene that way King Leonidas was making the move. So you can see he makes that move from left to right, and he's just looking at this guy. So you can see this is where the actions that we created in the original videos, this is where they come into the video, and we're starting to put everything together, and it's starting to make more sense. This was another project where I think there wasn't a lot of camera movement. The only camera movement was where King Leonidas has his long dialogue that's 16 seconds long, as well as the where he's like, "This is Sparta," where the camera was shaking. And I'll explain the reason why I made the camera shake when we get to that scene a little bit later on. So now we've done that, we're creating our scene 12. So you can see having a sheet telling you where you are in the video or how far you've animated, it really helps a lot. And I think for me in any case, it did a lot of the work. So you can see you've got King Leonidas. So this is the section where he's gonna look at his wife, and then when he looks at his wife, the queen is gonna give a nod like, yeah, please give this guy leg day. And then that guy's gonna receive some very nice leg day. That was a very painful kick that he got. It's a pity. And I think he died because he was so arrogant as well. Like, there's that saying, you gotta know who you're talking to. So yeah, you don't know who's gonna kick you in the chest. Hey, so word of caution to whoever you talk to. you don't know when you'll be kicked in the chest. Okay, so you can see we've created quite a number of frames and scenes. And what we'll do here is, this is the scene where I was talking about, where we're gonna create the queen nodding her head in approval for leg day. And you can see she's nodding. Again, because of the time lapse, this seems very fast, but in real time it does play out a bit slower than it actually is. So you can see we're just adding that, and then we're getting close. And then, so that was just the reference that I was looking at. So sometimes what happens is that as I'm animating, I just go back to the original scene, and then I just reference that. I'll look at it, I'll see what's happening, and just make sure as well that I'm seeing that I'm on the right track. Especially I think for the length, knowing how long each cutscene should be, it's been very helpful to look at the original footage of the movie from 300, and then you just reference that as you go on. So here, this is where he looks back, and then we just give him that that angry look. So this is almost the second last scene that we're creating, and then we're gonna go to compositing, and then once we get to compositing, we should be finishing. And this video almost didn't happen because I was so close to losing the recorded file. It just, and I was so worried, and I wasn't willing to start again. So I don't know what I was gonna do, but it came so close to just failing because the recording software was just doing its own things. It was crazy. So now we've come to the last scene that we'll be creating, and with this one, this is the one where I used also camera motion, just so that it would give it more expression, I think, because it looked a bit too one-dimensional, if I can put it, for me while I was animating this. So I just wanted to make it look active. And then what I emphasized the most on this shot was just his apart from the lip syncing, was his facial expression. I tried to play around with that, make him look as angry as I could get. I wasn't too happy with the result, but I think it did work. I don't know, maybe I'm just gaslighting myself up, but I was happy with the what I saw in the end. So this is me trying to make him look angry. So here what I was doing, I was just adding lip syncing as close as I can get to this is Sparta. I don't know, I feel so self-conscious when saying that. Alright, and then you can see, so now I'm just gonna work on his, you can see now I'm just playing around with those expressions, making him look mad, angry, and all that stuff, so that when the moment he starts speaking, you can see there's a change in the facial expression where he almost clenches his face together. So that's what I was going for. So what you'll see here is that I tried a shaking or handheld camera, as it's called, but that didn't look too nice. So I also had to move the camera myself, and I think moving the camera myself manually worked the way I would have wanted it to work. Not 100%, but I would use values around 90 to 100%. No, wow. Sorry, I wasn't even thinking there. 70%. That's the number I was thinking. How did I get 90 to 100%? Sorry, I was thinking of way other things. So this is the shaky or handheld camera. It didn't look too nice. It was just too much. And the problem is that it didn't start where I would have liked it to start. So that's why I went for the manual camera movement that I worked on myself. So the moment is like when he says this, then the camera begins to move around. So now we're coming to the to compositing this animation. So what I did was I just put everything in order. You can see we've got a lot of shots to put together, and you can see there we've got it there. It was quite a lot. So what I did here, I just added an adjustment layer. I gave it some in After Effects, I gave it a CC toner, as well as I gave it a curve to make it darker, and then I also gave it some noise so that it looks grainy and it looks like a period piece. So you'll note there. So that's what I was doing there. So there, I'm just putting it together. So this is bringing me to the close of this project. I think you'll see the stuff play with the background music. So I'm just gonna bring it to an end because I don't want it to just end abruptly. So this brings me to the end of this project. 300. It's one of my favorite projects that I've done so far. I hope that you guys have watched all of them. It came in 3 parts where we created the characters, and then here we're putting it all together. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing, and as always, there's so much to watch on this channel. I will catch you guys in the next project. Thank you so much for watching, and now here's the final clip for this project. Thank you so much.
Madman. You're a madman.
Air and water. But you'll find plenty of both down there.
No man. Persian or Greek, no man threatens a messenger.
You bring the crowns and heads of conquered kings to my city steps. You insult my queen. You threaten my people with slavery and death. Oh, I've chosen my words carefully, Persian. Perhaps you should have done the same.
This is blasphemy. This is madness.
Madness. This is Sparta!